Hey guys, welcome to the Game Changer Podcast. I'm NateFNGreat, being joined here by Mr. Fretz. A little bit of a different start than what we've normally done in the past, and for probably one of the worst reasons, because honestly guys, ever since 2020 started, it's been a huge roller coaster battle. We've had to battle with COVID-19, with lives mattering, and now throughout this week we have been hit with another huge just punch to the gut with the movement of speaking out. And it's opened the eyes of so many people as to, again, the dark side of the ring, no pun intended, as well as just still some of the things that we have seen and heard have been come to light. And it's scary to know the fact that so many of these things have reared their ugly heads, that it's involved assault, it's involved rape, it's involved drug use, it's involved so many different aspects of that. And so many people are coming out to tell us their story. And first of all, to everybody who's been courageous enough to tell their story, thank you. Thank you so much for telling us and for having the courage to speak out and let your voice be heard. Because in this time, that is what we need the most. We need honesty. We need to know the truth. And it's definitely opened the eyes of so many people. As far as so many people that we've known, our views on them have definitely changed. And as far as we know, they may never be the same again. Honestly, they probably will never be the same again. Now, for me, I'm not going to mention any names because you've heard the names, you know the people who have been accused, and honestly, they don't deserve the right to be recognized for what they've done. They really don't. So, we're going to take this first opportunity to discuss everything that we know, give our thoughts, and hopefully things are going to get better before they get worse, but Fretz, I'm going to pass it off to you because I've done my, cold opening for this.
Man, can we have one good week? 1 week without a total effing... like our previous uncomfortable conversation, this is another one of those things, and, they may be uncomfortable, but they're necessary. Again, I can't find the right words to say other than, I'm with you. Thank you for the brave people who have spoken out about all this, whether it's physical, sexual, psychological abuse. I know wrestling has always had this seedy underbelly, and now it's kind of finally being exposed. And I'll say it's a long time coming. I think that unless you're, I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words with this entire thing. It is an absolute freaking mess. I know if anyone's listened to any other podcast on our network, everyone's talked about it, from Mance, Zach, Kings of the Rings, and Kate Murphy, our Queen Bee. Shout out to Kate, love you. They have had. They've had the opportunity to briefly be in the wrestling business, so if anything, listen to them. I'm not going to take words out of their mouth. I'm not going to steal their story. I don't want to the last thing I want to do is misquote them and get in trouble. But this whole thing has made me look at wrestling a lot differently. Guys, I'm including myself here because I need to be better too. Be better. Guys, how hard is it to not be a total creepo? I'm an awkward guy. I ain't creepy, but it's just my God. I've a lot of our names. We're not going to name names, but a lot of these people are wrestlers that I think you and I have both been a fan of, and it's so disheartening. It's disgusting. It absolutely breaks my heart to withdraw support for some of these people. And change is long overdue, and it doesn't start in wrestling. It starts in the home. It starts in education, like God, in school. I mean, again, just to bring up the Kings, like when we sat in sex ed class, I mean, you were probably the same as all of us. It's like you were broken up into the guys and the girls, and the girls probably talked about like.
Yeah, no. That I'll tell you that right now. That was not the case. But I'll tell my story after you tell yours.
No, it was basically, the girls talked about birth and periods, and guys talked about boners, and they didn't talk about things that we should be talking about, like consent. No means no. I mean, hey, James Bond, we all like James Bond movies because they're action-packed, and he's kind of a ladies' man, although I don't know how much of an admirable quality that is, given the current climate we're in. 15 no's is a yes, no. No means fucking no.
Damn it. You took my punchline, because I was actually going to go right into that, because that's what this really feels like. It's a situation where you can all sum it up with the fact that some people have it in their heads that, as long as there's one yes in there, hey, it's okay. It's like, no, there are 15 no's and one yes. There's a reason why no means no. It means no. How much more do we need to drill in people's heads? No means no. Yes means yes. Maybe means, well, we don't know that for sure. But no means no. If you can't get through your head, then obviously you need to go through some serious therapy, my friends.
Yeah, totally, man. It's a bad week to be a wrestling fan, and for us, like for all of us, wrestling's an escape. It's an escape from it's been a heavy year. I mean, it's. Canada, we're not exempt from all from everything else, like the racial tension as well. Like it's up here too. I'm in like a friggin' farming community, a bunch of small town folk. I was going to say the Jeff Foxworthy word, but yeah, a bunch of those types. So we get that, and when our escape turns into an absolute, well, I'll say nightmare, it becomes hard to be a fan of. I mean, that's why I'm glad we're talking about an older show today, because it's fun, and right now we need a little fun. We got a holiday weekend coming up. I can tell you off air why it might not be so fun, but it's yeah, man. I have no words to say other than victims, I love you. I'm with you. Like, I was by your recommendation, I watched Brian Zane's blurb on this twice, and there's a few different ways people can look at it. It's either innocent until proven guilty, which, depending on who you are, is either here or there, or you believe the victim until. How did he say it? It was like, I would rather believe the victim and then it ends up not being true, rather than not believing the victim and kind of being on the side of the accuser,
right,
or the insert what they did here ist. So it's given me a lot to think about, and that I cannot articulate properly how heartbroken I am, and I would just go in circles here and just say, I love you, everybody. For the love of God, be safe. Have some change. I mean, We've been asking for change for God knows how long, and now it's happening. And some people might not like it, but change is scary. Change can be good.
No,
and when
definitely.
I'm I'm blarbing, so yeah, I'll stop.
You're definitely right about that. Is that there definitely needs to be a lot of change, and I could go back and reference a lot of what Brian Sane said too. And honestly, he said in about, so much in that about 10, 15-minute video that he did where, he talks about, people have consequences for their actions. There are always going to be repercussions. The fact that, people are not doing what they should be doing. Have people not heard of, maybe just dating, just getting to know each other, doing something like that, instead of just sticking to the old status quo, which was, boys will be boys, and the girls have what's coming to them. All these kind of just stereotypical stuff. It's like, no, we're in 2020 where everybody should have the right to feel safe and have the right to feel like an equal person. And it took this shitty year for me to realize we're still in a sinkhole. I thought there was a point where, honestly, we were all going to be buddy, everything was going to be great. No, we're literally taking so many more steps back, and we're reevaluating everything that we know. It's amazing just to see this. And this speaking out movement is one of those things that's the most eye-opening deal that I ever could have expected, because there's been a lot of cases where it's definitely opening the eyes of the fact that, women backstage, they're mistreated horribly. They're basically treated like, ooh, people that are just looking pretty, and they're literally just sex objects. And no, they're athletes. They're busting their asses. They're trying to be as good as everybody else. That's why I was very proud of the fact that the women got to main event last year at WrestleMania. That's why I was very proud of the fact, you know what? They had a botch finish. I don't care. I really don't care. They finally got their just due. It took 35 effing years for them to finally reach that point, and it was well deserved. Women deserve to be treated just as equally as men. Same thing can go for the trans, LGBT community, for anybody of any race, and of any culture, of any gender, of any fill in the blank here. Everybody should feel equal. That is what our forefathers built us on. That we, the people, should believe that all Americans are created equal. There should not be a situation where it's like one is above the other. One of these people deserves to be above it because they're this and blah, blah. No, everybody has the same rights. Everybody should be punished the same way. And people should follow the same rules. But some people think that they're above the law. Some people think that they're just above this deal because, oh, I'm famous. I think I deserve to do this. I deserve to have 20 women in my bed every night. No, you lunatic. That's how AIDS are made, you fucking moron.
And that's also creepy AF. And to go back to something, screw boys will be boys, because that is just the ultimate get-out-of-free card for guys to be creepy a-holes. For the love of everything holy... Okay, boys will be boys. How about you scratch that? Real men being real men. Now, a real man wouldn't do any of this garbage, whether from A to Z, whatever the heck that has been out there from abuse and kids. Like, for God's sake.
No, that literally blew my mind. It's like, do you realize that there are ramifications for you basically trying to get with a minor? It's disgusting. They don't deserve to have that kind of fear installed in them because you installed it, first of all. And B, the other people are supposed to be role models. They're supposed to be the ones that show the younger generation what's the right thing to do. We want to be real men? What do me and Fretz do? We're real men to anybody. We'll hold doors, not just for women. We'll do it for men too because we're polite. We'll pull the chair out occasionally, although that's kind of a dying art, but that's whatever. We'll definitely be very conscious to others. That's because we know how to treat people. We know how to show them respect. And there's still this whole deal where it's like, oh, if you're getting disrespected by somebody, they obviously like you. They're calling you a piece of trash. No, I'm over that. I'm over that shit. I'm over that shit where it's like, if you're being mistreated, obviously they love you. No, if they're mistreating you, then something is wrong there. Especially if you're ending up coming home with bumps and bruises on your body. You don't deserve that. You deserve to feel safe no matter where you go, no matter who you're with. And unfortunately, 2020 is one of those things where it's like, honestly, I think that this is one of those things where trust is going to have to truly be earned here in our country. That's the one thing that's going to be taken away from this. So I think that's kind of the best. I know that I've definitely gone on a huge tangent. I've gone on a huge rave, but I'm with you, Fretz. It's one of those things where it's like I have so many words I could say, but at the same time, there's a point where I just stop and I feel like I don't know what to say. It's disgusting, it's horrible, and I really hate the fact that so many people that we looked to and thought like, oh, this guy was cool. That now it's just like, can't think that way anymore. I know there's some people that say like, oh, don't meet your idols. I've met some great people, and I know some great people, and I disagree with the fact, meet your idols, but just don't put them so high on a pedestal until you truly get to know them. I think that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah. Watch how you treat people, everybody. I don't normally get preachy on here. I don't normally quote the Bible on here, but Jesus said to love your neighbor. Jesus said as I said, he said love your neighbor. But what about nope? But what? Nope. Period. There's a period there, and I'm including myself. Like, I need to improve myself, how I interact with people, and we all need to follow suit. And guys, don't be creeps on Twitter. Like, this is unrelated, but there is someone in wrestling who recently contracted COVID, and they suspended their social media because people were being jerks. Like, I've tweeted trash talk at wrestlers. Sometimes I went too far. But please, we have to watch what we say, watch how we treat people. Love one another, please. And as for the, as I said, as for the victims, again, I'm with you. I love you. You ever needed someone to talk to, you know where to go.
Same goes for me, guys. I definitely do want to take one quote from Brian Zane that I thought was absolutely great, was that when it comes to wrestling, that we need to bring in the professionals and keep out the predators.
Yes.
That is one of the best quotes. And in all honesty, change is not going to happen overnight. I will agree with that. But we can make a difference one day at a time, and we take it one day at a time. Definitely, guys, stay strong, be safe, and know that your true friends are always going to be there for you, and they're going to love you no matter what. So definitely, we'll tell you guys this. If you want to hear more, if you want to hear so much passion put behind it, I can definitely recommend so many people. You mentioned, of course, our guys, Kings of the Rings, the Delight Show, Young Lions Retrospective. They have their thoughts on that, and they're very good shows, and very, very well said minds. So definitely listen to that, especially Kings of the Rings, because you have not only three incredible minds, but you also have three different perspectives on this deal. So definitely, I would very highly recommend that. I'd recommend checking out Brian Zane's video when he talks about it. Saw Monster definitely had one that was just impactful. And again, people, know that we need to make better decisions. We need to be respectful, and we need to make a difference in the most positive way possible. Because that's the only way you're going to make a difference in this world.
And don't joke about rape, for the love of God.
So guys, that has been our cold open. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to compose ourselves. And when we come back, we are going to start the show. So for those of you speaking out, we say we love you. We say thank you. We say stay strong. We're here for you.
Wrestling fans of all ages, shapes, sizes, genders, and everything in between. It is time to go to war and be VicTori for the Common Wrestling Podcast. Welcome to the revolution.
Buzz, guys. My name is Kate Murphy. What's going on, everybody? This is Will Tarashuk, the founder of the Kings of the Rings podcast.
What's going on, guys? It is I, the one and only Quiet Riot himself, Zach, your host of the Young Lions Perspective.
What's up, guys? This is the Monday Night Delight.
Greetings, one and all. This is your Prime Minister speaking, your favorite Canadian, Mr. Fretz.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is NateFNGreat from the Game Changer podcast.
If you're looking for a network that keeps wrestling real, then you've come to the right place, because
You're listening to...
You are listening to...
You are listening to...
You are listening.
Then you are listening.
Get ready for a war, because you're listening to...
What is going on, everybody? This is King Ricky Rose, your general manager, and you are listening to Wrestle Addict Radio. Now enjoy the show.
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to change the landscape of podcasting as you know it in professional wrestling. This is the Game Changer Podcast. Featuring the greatest asset to come out of Canada, the legendary Mr. Fretz.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
I love myself. There's something so condescending to the champ to get out of my ring. They think they got the answers. I change the questions.
I did it all by my sweet little self. 2-time Slammy Award winner. I knew it. I'm a winner. I did it. Woo!
As well as featuring yours truly, the Game Changer, Nate the Effin' Great.
I've had it. It's time for you to start listening to somebody else, and that somebody else is going to be me, and it's going to be right now. The dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you. You're not going to come out here and talk about how it should have been you, it should have been me, it should have been you, it should have been you, it should have been you, it should have been you 8 years ago, and it was kind of, then it wasn't, and it's not going to be again, and it's not going to happen. Just get over it. I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary. Nobody can touch me.
We change the game one day at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready,
And during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini.
oh my gosh, guys, every time I hear this theme music, my heart just flutters. So
It's clobbering time.
it is indeed clobbering time. So again, welcome back to the Game Changer Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nate the Effin' Great. I've had the chance to meet CM Punk 2 times. Honestly,
Sure.
Hey, you almost met Robert England. So I already called you lucky bitch.
I was a day short of meeting the Undertaker. If it wasn't for that damn Goldberg match,
Oh man.
and the fact that that Saturday, this was Comic-Con last June. That was actually I think post Comic-Con might have been my first time on this show on the war side of things, as we did a couple shows pre-war.
Right.
But happy 1 year again.
Yay.
So the Saturday I was there, I think was the day after Super Showdown. And of course, it's like a 24-hour flight from Jeddah to, I guess it was New York. And New York's I can see the New York side from Niagara Falls. So it was impossible. So he was scheduled for the Saturday. and then it got moved to the Sunday when I had to be back here, and it sucked. Like that, I will never forgive that show for that and for the fact that Taker was 3 inches away from dying. Like, did you see part 5 of The Last Ride?
I did. We're definitely going to be talking about that. We're definitely going to talk about that. We'll talk about that more towards the end of this show. Because I think, in all honesty, that entire series deserves a review by us. Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that, the Undertaker series. And we're going to be reviewing Money in the Bank 2011. The second annual Money in the Bank event. Oh gosh, guys, this is we rewatched this whole thing, and I think both of us agreed that this is one of the most beautiful events that you will ever see. And it's only got 6 matches. That's the crazy part about it. I just told him that before we started recording, and yeah, it's one of those shows where it's like, this lasted for about a couple hours and 6 matches. Oh, geez, yeah, no, this is good stuff. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go way, way back. It's the Wayback Machine with Mr. Fretz.
We gotta use the Wayne's World thing.
Yeah, so I have no hair.
Hey.
Sorry, Colin Mockery reference. For those of you that got that, points to you.
Okay, I think I did. I love Colin Mockery. So there was a couple of things. This time in 2011, I had moved off campus with my old roommate Jesse, who crashed the show on surprisingly a few weeks ago. So I've been chatting with him. Shout out Jesse. Him and I were having an apartment in this. It was like a 120-year-old house broken up into 3 different apartments, and we were in the upstairs portion. So if there was a fire, we'd be dead. And then we could hear everything that's going on in the basement. I'm not going to say anything out loud, but so at this point in time, I was working at the church that I was interning at throughout college. Benton Street Baptist Chad. I loved volunteering in that church. A couple of things I took issue with. Mostly the thing that, hey, while you're interning here, can you not drink? It was a Baptist church. Baptist churches are known for being stingy. I didn't like it, although, I went with... It was a funny story. I had beer while I was there, but it was with the pastor I was working with. It was a guys' camping trip. And he's like, so, James, the guys are going to offer you beer. You're going to drink it, and I'm going to say nothing. Okay. Couple of weeks later, I'm sorry, we're at Starbucks a couple of weeks later, and he's just like, James, I want to tell you something. What? I think that no drinking thing's bullshit. I wish we were on my porch having a Guinness right now. That's why I love that guy.
Yay.
I'm not going to say his name. He was awesome. Very instrumental in parts of my faith. Anyways, I was working at my church, but it was partnership through Big Brothers Big Sisters of Waterloo Region, and I was helping run an ESL day camp for recent to Canada children, so helping them learn English and doing games and arts. We made homemade Play-Doh, homemade slime, did some songs and some games. It was fun. I really liked it. And I was also the church custodian for that summer because he went on vacation. So I was making a little coin, hanging out with my friends, and I watched this live on a... Do you remember a streaming service called Justin.tv? It was like torrents, basically. I
feel like I did, actually. That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, well, I had a wrestling chat room called Take Streams. I shout out to all of them. They were great. We were pre-Wrestle Addict Radio, we were a little chat room family. We interacted with everybody. Hey, how's your dad? How's this, that? One person lived in the same town as Kane and was there for the whole mayoral candidate. So that was the thing. I was working with Big Brothers Big Sisters. In theaters was Captain America, the first one.
Damn, buddy.
And in video games, I had the 20th anniversary of my probably favorite video game character outside of Link and Mario, Sonic, with the Sonic Generations game for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Loved that game where you can kind of go back in time to Green Hill Zone and Sonic Adventure stages at the same time as you're battling, you're time traveling, you're battling current Sonic and past Sonic. It was really good. I really loved that summer because, well, my campus, we weren't allowed to drink at Emmanuel Bible College, so the day Jesse and I took our last load of stuff from residence, we turned out of college, and then literally one block up the street from the school was a beer store. Right in there, 2-4, broke it open, and just pounded a good chunk of them at the new apartment. Nice. 2011 was a hell of a year for me, man.
2011 was definitely a good year. I think for wrestling, it definitely was something that a lot of people enjoyed to talk about. And trust me, when we go into Money in the Bank, we'll definitely discuss one of the main reasons why. You talked about Sonic Generations being a part of that. I just know that Sonic games have been kind of like up and down. Like I remember the classic one. I used to do it on the PC, not the Sega. I never really got to own a Sega, which sucks. But at the same time, I definitely knew who Sonic was. But then when I find out all these different games, like wow, Sonic did this. There was like a fighting game for Sonic, and then there was this. There's all these other games, and then we hit Sonic Boom, and it's like, wow, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel with this one, aren't you, Sega?
Oh, I'm surprised they didn't bring up Sonic 06.
I could. But I think Sonic Boom is basically the epitome of them just being like, yeah, we got nothing else. But, oh, wait, was Sonic 06 the one? Yeah, it was. I think Sonic 06 was also the one they introduced Big the Cat!
No, that was Sonic Heroes.
Oh, that's right.
Sonic Adventure 2, but no, Sonic Mania, like the most recent one, that Christian Whitehead, he's the guy that emulated all the games for mobile devices, and he helped make this new one, and it's fucking amazing.
It really is.
I can't sing its praises, but the 3D games suck. Talking to a kid who had a Sonic the Hedgehog birthday party when he was 11 and had all the games for Sega Genesis and played them till they stopped working.
Well, I mean, at least we got some other good things from Sonic. We got that recent Sonic movie that came out with Ben Schwartz and Jim Carrey. Honestly,
I have not seen it.
I will say this, that this was one of the movies I had very low expectations for it. They definitely surpassed them. It definitely is a better movie than what I thought it was. I even look back at it now, and it's like, wow, this is on levels of like Detective Pikachu. I mean, that was one of those movies that I had high praises. Like, oh yeah, as far as live action video games go, Detective Pikachu is number one. Sonic is at least tied with there, if not maybe slightly better. But after watching the entire movie, and definitely stay till the end because there's an end credit scene that makes you just think, oh, yes, I want another.
I know what it is.
So, yeah, for those of you that have not seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Definitely enjoy it. It's wonderful. Thankfully, they reimagined him to look more Sonic-like than too realistically, really creepy, like, good lord, no.
I just got some breaking news here. I know we talked about something in the first bit, but before we go to Money in the Bank, I'm just going to announce here that Impact has terminated Tessa Blanchard's contract as per Fightful Wrestling.
Oh.
Shit.
Well,
and been stripped of the title.
Well,
obviously.
She had a good run while it lasted. I think I know why. Because there were some tweets that unfortunately she was not exactly the most very well liked person, to say the least. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna end it at that.
Yep.
So Money in the Bank took place in Chicago, which always has a near and dear place to my heart. Took place in Rosemont, Illinois, I should say, at the Allstate Arena with an attendance of 14,815. and a buy rate of 195,000. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's one of those things where I look back at that and I think to myself, doesn't seem really like that much, but at the same time, this was still back when they were doing the whole, where they had to do like, what was it, like 40 for regular and then 50, I think, for like HD. I think that was during that time.
Holy crap! What? Really? I forgot about that. Like, thing is, I just had internet. I had like the old the bunny ears, the antenna at my apartment.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And that was the year that all that stuff was taken off. So I remember watching the season 7 finale of The Office where Michael Scott left over the bunny ears. And then immediately after that, finding out that Bin Laden died over those, and then they were gone. So I was watching everything like through possibly legal streams.
Man, so we go into the opening package for Money in the Bank. It's great. I also love that they definitely did do a lot of like meshes from the punks that CM Punk, the Punk promos, I should say, that CM Punk did, and I even mentioned that the clock color countdown was a nice touch, because here's the main thing that you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, is that CM Punk's contract was supposed to end at midnight on this night here at Money in the Bank. Basically, it's a situation where literally, if CM Punk wins, he walks out with the WWE Championship. If he loses, he walks out with nothing. And if CM Punk wins, that John Cena would be fired. But we'll talk about that later on, because, boy, what a letdown that was. I may have spoiled it, whatever. First matchup, the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match. We have our big red fiery mayor now today, known as Kane, Glenn Jacobs, versus the one-man band, he's Slater, baby, Sin Cara, the original one, the one that screwed up a lot, Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, Cody Rhodes, he's still rocking the disfigured mask, because he's Cody Rhodes and he's fucking amazing during this time. Well, it's a big brr. Oh. Oh my gosh, we're not even at the big show match, we're making these jokes. Also is Daniel Bryan in this match, and Sheamus. So,
fella.
Oh my god. Sheamus fella! I go back.
Did you know, I'm sorry, but I think it was around this time, Sheamus had a very, very, very short-lived nickname they were going to try and get over until they realized, oh shit, no! And do you know what it was?
Was it the Great White?
Yes. That was like 2 weeks, and then they're like, wait a minute. Delete.
So, right off the bat, I really did enjoy the fact that they got everybody out of the ring except for Wade Barrett, Sheamus, and Kane. Basically, I just said we have an Englishman, an Irishman, an American.
Welshman.
Fair enough.
Wait, no, he's not. No, wait, that's Mason Ryan. I thought Wade was Welsh. Nope, I was mistaken. Never mind.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And I basically made the joke, America won. Yes, the Big Red Demon, the guy who's now running Knox County, is representing America in this deal. Well, also Daniel Bryan. You get what I mean. You get what I mean. But we get some nice high-flying deals from Slater, Gabriel, Bryan, and even one from Sin Cara. It's like, huh, wow, Sin Cara actually did good. This was one of those first few matches where it's kind of like he's been botching a lot lately, but then as soon as we see him in this match, it's like, okay, no, he's pulling off really well. But that would only last for about a couple minutes, because then Sheamus decided, come here, here's a ladder, picks him up, boop, goes right through the ladder. Sin Cara's dead, at least for the rest of the night. Also during this spot, we get, I thought was an early Frank the Clown sighting, although it could be just somebody who looked like Frank, just had the makeup and the crazy hairstyle. But it was one of those things where it's like, I think I literally was watching the show, and I actually messaged Frank on Twitter. I said, hey dude, what were you doing at Money in the Bank 2011. He has yet to respond to me, so I'm starting to think maybe it's not him. But if it is him and I spotted him, then hey, I got a good eye. But at the same time, it's like, that's the only way I can recognize the dude. Because our first picture together, he's literally just clean cut, nice hair, just shit like that. He just does not look like himself. While the other ones, yes, he looks like Frank the Clown. He looks like the douche that I literally am like, I'm at least in the top 4. But I'm going to take your spot, Frank. I will take your spot. I will be Noel's second favorite person, because there's no way I'm beating Mick Foley. I'm sorry, did I go a little too dark there?
No, that's just too funny. That's good. Which is even funnier, because I think Fretz's are somehow distantly related to Foley's. So I'm going to go on my family tree and see if like Manhasset, Long Island, New York, or something is on there.
Honestly, if you're like great uncle or your like third uncle is like Mick Foley, I would literally just be like, you lucky bitch. that is literally my catchphrase. Any single time that he's got something good happening for him, it's just, Fretz, you lucky bitch. Feels like a backhanded compliment.
Why don't I show you that picture I have with Craiglin and Yondu then?
Oh God, I hate you. I hate you. So we gotta continue getting through this match. So Kane and Sheamus, they do a Doomsday Device spot to Daniel Bryan, who comes pretty close to hitting the ladder. If he did not, then he definitely did. Whew. But then there's a spot where Slater is climbing up the ladder, and Sheamus and Barrett, they just lift him up with that ladder. It's really a scary spot. It's one of those things where it's like, one wrong move, and he's going to have like a broken freaking, he's going to have like some kind of broken leg or something. Kane gets a choke slam on Sheamus on the ladder. He's out of the game. Kane eats so much in this matchup. He gets a nice disaster kick from Cody Rhodes. He gets the wasteland from my boy Wade Barrett. And then eats a 450 splash from Justin Gabriel. He's kind of out of the equation. Daniel Bryan, he's fighting the ladder. He takes off Cody, knocks off Wade. And Daniel Bryan wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. This was back during. Oh yeah, no, is he? Yeah, I think this is when he was doing the. He was doing Fly of the Valkyrie, but I think it was just the classic like dun 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 dun. Not the one
not not the rock version.
The one that we've come to know and love. That is still one of the best things ever. I gave this 2 thumbs up. Honestly, I think I might even go 2 gorilla thumbs up. This is really great because this has a couple of veterans in Kane, Sheamus, and I would almost dare say Cody because he's been around a little bit longer than Slater, Cara, Barrett, Gabriel, and Bryan, at least in WWE standards. But yeah, this was a good mixture of just the young wily rookies that really want to get this victory, where you have the vets that are just like, we just want to be world champion again, and we have Daniel Bryan winning. This was a really good matchup. Fretz, any other spots that you want to highlight, or what did you think of this matchup?
Oh, I thought this match was fantastic, and Cole just being an absolute twat on commentary.
Of course he is.
Just being all like this to Daniel Bryan, and there was a really nice spot here. Sin Cara just got ladder bombed fella through the ladder, leading to one of my favorite spots to do in future WWE 2K games. And Booker T be like, oh, you're gonna be in Booker's Fave 5. And yes, that's where I stole the title from.
That's awesome.
Fritz's Fave 5 on our Patreon page. Listen for next week where I talk about my favorite 5 all-time women after this week's favorite 5 current. It's very good. I liked it. So we have Kane killing Daniel Bryan, pre-Team Hell No. Excuse me. Goozle, I wrote down for some reasons. I think I had Taz on the brain just because I was just listening to the Ruthless Aggression podcast before coming on the air here. I think here Team Hell No might have been conceived, because there was a little bit of interaction between the two at the time.
Oh.
There was some pole vault ladder spot where I think someone was on top of this ladder, and then people got underneath it and grabbed it, like kind of put it back together and then grabbed it while this person was standing on top of it. I might have been mistaking another spot, but that bump looked awful. Like all the ladder bumps tonight, ouch! And that 450 splash, that for some reason they said, oh, that's like a 450 splash in a phone booth. Okay. What's a phone? Like, Fretz, what's a phone booth? It's a toilet. It's that.
It's Superman's toilet.
It's Superman's toilet. There was like a wasteland over the rope that I thought looked really good. Oh, that's on the notes I took here. So, yeah, Daniel Bryan winning was fantastic, and this was like when Bryan was just reaching his zenith in the WWE, especially with his gimmick. He would hang on to this briefcase for I think about 6 months, because I will never forget December, being home for Christmas break in college and watching him cash in on Big Show. The big, I lost my spaghetti.
So, no, Big Show. You were the champion. Oh, but I was gonna get more spaghetti then.
I'll eat spaghetti out of my title. I'm sorry, God. Big Show. I love you. I met you and you were nothing but kind. I'm surprised you just blocked us.
I want you to rib him now. Just next, one of us who sees Big Show, just be like, "Hey, Big Show, you want some spaghetti?"
And then I would just get chopped right in the chest.
Oh my God! I want to at least have like a video recording of me asking him that, just to send to the Ruthless Aggression pod, and then Big Show just be like, "Somebody get this fucking guy out of here."
I want to see a video. I saw this one video. There's a lot of sidebergs. I mean, come on, we're trying to lighten up the mood now, but Gabriel Iglesias, he's friends with Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias,
yes.
And he been Big Show. Leading up to the Big Show, which, no, don't watch. He's like, I'm going to chop your friends here. So he got big guy, like me, big belly, and then Big Show just goes like, well, not like that, but it was like smack, like right in the chest, and he just drops him.
Because that's how deadly the Big Show is. Honestly, I wonder if he charges extra to have to get chops from him. I think it'd be worth it, either way.
Sergeant Slaughter left me in the Cobra Clutch for free, so...
Well, Slaughter's amazing. We know this. Even Willie T will agree with you on Willie T will agree with you on that. So we see a deal where we see Vince McMahon coming out of his limo, and we just get this weird long pause here, because we have to embrace the fact that Vince's title could be leaving the company for some reason. Question mark? I don't know. This was weird. Not the worst thing we'd see, but really weird. Up next, we have the Divas Championship, in which Kelly Kelly with Eve Torres in her corner defends against Brie Bella with Nikki Bella in her corner. Back when the Bella twins were literal twins, before we see a little bit of inflation of balloons. Yes. And we're not body shaming. We're just literally stating the fact that literally this is when they were literal identical twins before, enhancements were made. All I have for this matchup was that there was a horrible head scissors, probably by Kelly Kelly. Also, Kelly Kelly is Max's favorite wrestler, so shout out to you, Agent Cooper.
Max.
Kelly Kelly landed hard, bad, but she also did this bad belly flop, which was I don't know. There's this weird hair throw. Really bad bulldog was done, but Kelly Kelly hits what is the famouser, but her version is the K2 for the win on Brie Bella. I believe there's probably some twin magic trying to get involved, but Eve disrupted that, and yeah, Kelly Kelly wins. I really did not enjoy this match. I will definitely give it like a thumbs in the middle, because compared to other matches that we've seen in the past that were just literal dumpster fires, this was one where it's like, they're still trying to find their stride. They're still trying to find, what they're trying to, become. So I can't really fault them that much on that. I did also mention this deal where it felt like there was like skinny shaming on Kelly. I don't know if this was like something that came from Cole or if this was from like the Bellas, but it was really weird. It was like they're shaming Kelly for looking good, for looking as fit as she did. She looked absolutely beautiful. I mean, she was always beautiful, but for some reason it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh, you're pretty, you're athletic, and you obviously know how to take care of yourself, so we're going to shame you. It's like, why? This makes this whole thing look like ass backwards. It's really weird.
Wait, hot shaming's a thing? Okay.
Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, no one told me about this, but hey, Max. Yeah, I literally wrote one word beside this match, and it was skip. I don't think I watched. I was like, skip. Then I didn't end up actually watching it. So, yeah, I'm not big on, like, this is when, just before hashtag give divas a chance was a thing, and I'm like, looking back, I'm like, I don't like when women's wrestling that wasn't taken seriously. I mean, in the past, I liked the insert gimmick matches here.
Compared to insert the fact that Lita and Trish main evented Monday Night Raw in 2004. Suck it.
Hey, I'm going back in the Tony Bell Salute in July to one of Team Bestie's first matches against each other. So
damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, they go back. By the way, folks, I'm reviewing Fully Loaded 2000. I highly recommend this. I think it's the second best pay-per-view in the Attitude Era, just after X7. I'm serious, it's that good. I told you to watch it. There's a match I'm going to tell you about later. So I'm sorry, I'm babbling a lot.
but you're basically trying to get past the deal. It's like, yes, you're right. This is before give divas a chance. This is definitely one of those times where they really did not give women that kind of really good exposure. Because it's really weird. Because as soon as the Divas title came out, it felt like a lot of those matches were going to end up as just bathroom matches. When it was the women's title, there were some that were like, okay, no, this is really good. This is actually good. And then there were some that were like action-packed. It's like, holy mother of God, this is great. Recent memory definitely does include a lot of the matches at Survivor Series. Victoria versus Trish in 2002 was a really great hardcore matchup. Definitely also check out the interview I had with her, Melina, and Val, where I actually did bring that up, where we talked about how she got like a lump on her head and how she ended up, I think, almost breaking her nose or something like that. It's really funny. But the other thing also that stood out to me during the Survivor Series deal is 2004 Survivor Series, where Lita literally just murders Trish. And if you think I'm kidding, watch this matchup. It's literally Lita going on the offense like crazy, hits Trish with a steel chair. Trish is screaming out, "My nose, my nose, my nose." She's getting carried to the back. Next thing you know, she just lunges forward. You just hear this boom on the steel steps. It's like, oh my God. I just literally look at this and like, wow, Lita's literally showing her Dark Angel in this one. And before Cody had the mask, this is where Trish had it. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
Oh,
Virgil had it too.
Oh shit! Maybe we need to do like a list of like best medical masks in wrestling history.
There's a Fave 5. There it is.
Oh my gosh! You gotta tell me Chris Nowinski's on there. He's got to be on there.
Oh, he's number one, man.
All right. We get a nice promotion deal for the best of WCW, the wrestling, hosted by. Yo, it's me, it's DDP. I looked at that, I was like, oh dude, I'd be hooked on that like crazy. I think I want
a good DVD. It's good.
I'm gonna need to watch that now. Alright, Mr. Fretz, it's time for probably the greatest match of the night. It's sexual chocolate, Mark Henry, versus the big white chocolate, the big show.
Well.
So, I definitely do want to state this, that the build-up to this matchup is interesting, because it basically starts with Mark Henry just literally beating the hell out of Big Show at Capital Punishment, which gave Del Rio a win. Whoop-de-freaking-do. And then I think there was another moment where Mark Henry actually sends Big Show through a cage door, which is amazing. It's one of those things where where I think that Adam Blompied said it best. He was doing like a rebooking of Mark Henry. Not one of my favorite ones, just because of the motivation behind Mark Henry's, reason for doing this. But he literally says, Mark, where did this come from? And he would scream out, "That's what I do!" And we're like, we like what you do. Is there more? So we get this matchup, and Mr. Fretz, what do we get in this mixture of chocolate matchup? I'm calling this the chocolate match. I don't care what anybody says now.
Excuse me while I open a box of Lindor here. So.
Oh.
No, seriously, I have one that's...
Guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. This was not planned. He literally just pulled this up, and I'm just realizing this now.
Here is a... nope, that's a Starchiala kind. Whatever, it's good. This match is just nothing but Henry being on the absolute cusp of greatness here. Almost at the Hall of Pain. I thought the fake retirement was around this time, but it wasn't for like 2 years after. It was 2013, and I thought my what's that thing, that Mandela effect brain of mine was being like, the fake retirement with Cena led to a title run, but this is when his title run was around, because Mark Henry would win the World Heavyweight title this year. And, well, he lost it to the Big Show, ironically, and that's how Daniel Bryan cashed in. So we have nothing but a bunch of lumbering chops here, working over the Big Show's knee. We see 2 World's Strongest Slams and 2 running big splashes. And then after the match, we had a little bit more... Oh, and Mark Henry won, obviously. And we saw that big old leg of the Big Show get Pillmanized with a chair in the leg, and then he did the Vader bomb onto it, and it looked really, really convincing, really bad. And the other, oh wait, no, that's JR.
Oh my god!
This is like, my leg.
Why don't you pick on someone your own set? Why are we making him into freaking Fat Albert? Oh no, I gotta go red. It's okay. We got this nice little medicine for you. Is it spaghetti? Damn it!
It's spaghetti. Yes, Big Show. It's spaghetti flavored medicine.
Spaghetti flavored aspirin. That would be a great idea. I mean, very few people would buy it, but hey, it's definitely something. Do you remember? Okay, this is getting a little off topic, but I will. Okay, I'll just say it like this. I was impressed that Big Show could fly. Also, Mark Henry with his 2 splashes was great. Other than that, I got nothing else to add on here. Other than, honestly, I gave it a thumbs up. 1 thumb up. I thought it was still a good match. Definitely proved its point. Mark Henry's a freaking beast, and he goes on to the Hall of Fame. But do you remember? Well, I think even there's still to this day. You remember those the Flintstone vitamins, the Flintstone gummies, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, chewable Flintstones. I definitely took those when I was a kid.
Yeah, no. If they did something like that for like aspirin and stuff like that, then hey, it'd be better. We just would have to find a way to lock that up so that way kids don't get addicted to them.
Oh yeah, Tide Pods.
Oh god.
Spaghetti Tide Pods. Wait, no.
God. I feel like we're just getting over that stupid Tide Pod challenge.
There was literally like only a handful of them. Everyone's talking about, oh, you millennial. First off, I'm a millennial. I was born in 1984. I am a millennial. You're what, 1990? You are millennial. Mm-hmm. kids today are exennials, so let's get all this.
Damn you, exennials.
or something. Like, my brother's 40, and I think he's Gen X, so, but it's... my gosh. Yeah, it was a handful of them, but no. Yeah, we're just over that. Like, this year's meme is... I don't know.
Sean Connery, James Bond, 15 yeses, 15 no's, and 1 yes means yes. That's how I describe this thing.
Okay, Peter Griffin.
Next up we have Vince McMahon. He talks about CM Punk and John Cena, basically reiterating what's going to happen if CM Punk walks out with the title. We know that's not going to happen. as I say with a nice...
Excuse me, Vince, did CM Punk resign? No.
I do remember that. Now I remember. Now we're up to the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Mike the Miz Mazallan versus A-Rod, Alex Riley versus Ron Killings, R-Truth versus Matt Sydal, Evan Bourne. Why am I going through all these things? I don't care. I actually don't care anymore. versus Jake Hager himself, Jack Thwagger, versus a piece of shit, versus one of the best WWE champions ever, Kofi Kingston.
Alberto. Okay, I love Ricardo. I loved Alberto at this point because I loved the friggin' Ricardo Rodriguez bit. Oh, and by the way, the truth will set you free.
Oh my gosh, yes, him coming out to like literal nothing. Only to be topped by Tommaso Ciampa about 4 or 5 years later?
Dude, it was just like last year or the year before. He came out to just booze. Hey, weren't you there?
No, not for that one. I was there for Gargano Ciampa 2 in Chicago.
Oh.
So that was during Money in the Bank weekend, which, fun fact, I actually almost walked out of that show, but I'll talk about that after this matchup. So everybody decides, hey, there's ladders, let's all bring them up. So they all grab ladders, they're just beating each other up. That one guy, he gets buried under ladders. And I literally said, this is R-Truth at his best. Just a comedic psychopath.
Santos Escobar?
Maybe. I was thought, well, now you screwed me up. Rey Mysterio, he does a leap off the ladder and gives a Hurricane Wanda to Jack Swagger on the outside. Just beautiful. Riley, Truth, Kingston, and Mysterio, they decide to just take flight because why the hell not? It's beautiful. Matt Sydal, Evan Bourne does a shooting star press off of a ladder. Oh my gosh. First of all, even to this day, Evan Bourne, a.k.a. Matt Sydal, he does an amazing shooting star press. I don't care what anybody says. It's great. Even back then, just picture perfect. I loved it. I was a big Evan Bourne fan back in the day. Miz, he gets knocked off the ladder and he wrecks his knee. He's kind of, getting taken out. He's getting thrown out, and everybody's like, "No, we want to see Alex Riley kill him. Come on." We see a double Hurricane Rana by Evan Bourne and Mysterio, and I said, "Thank you, Booker." So I think Booker T might have just struck gold with that one. That's great. Kofi Kingston, he hits a top rope boom drop, 619 by Mysterio to Kofi Kingston on the ladder, 619 to R-Truth. Just a huge mesh of ladders. Everybody's just going crazy, trying to get the briefcase, blah, blah, blah. Kofi Kingston comes so close to winning that briefcase. But he has just unique offense, as he does in every matchup. Just great. So, everybody seems to be down. Here comes The Miz. He's just limping on one leg, just trying to get to the ring. He's climbing up. Chicago is just in love with The Miz at this point, because that was one of the biggest ovations. He's the freaking heel, and people are just like, yeah, go Miz, be a back-to-back winner, go buddy, you can do it. Nope, he he's taken out. So it looks like Mysterio's going to go for the victory, but then somehow his mask just falls off, and then the briefcase just is kind of held in midair. It just got unhooked, and then it just kind of stood there. It's really weird. So I guess the match was over. Ding, ding, ding. Somebody won. I don't know who in particular. All right, fine. Alberto Del Rio.
You don't have to say. I'm just poking him.
Yeah,
he's a piece of shit. I know.
I know. I just have to say it because I have to be mature for the audience. Alberto Del Rio wins the Raw Money in the Bank matchup. Oh, he also has a promo afterwards. I don't care.
Yeah, that sucked.
All in all, I think other than the finish, another really good matchup. This was another really good Money in the Bank ladder match. Not very often do you see two Money in the Bank ladder matches really kind of stealing the show and be in the huge major spotlight. But these two definitely were really good. They definitely were just like, hey, main event, what you got?
Yeah, I love this. Like I love ladder matches. So this one was fantastic. I was disappointed we didn't see any Ricardo Rodriguez. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he was parking the car. I don't know. So we have. This is just a big smorgasbord of talent in here. I mean, you got Kofi, who he finally had his moment last year. The Miz, who I thought this was the one he won until I realized what was happening later in the show and what would happen at SummerSlam. That this is where the turd won. Yeah. But we had. I loved R-Truth's kind of crazy heel run, the coming out to just the truth will set you free. Having a smoke in the middle of
that's right. I remember that. In the middle of
the show was the best thing I've ever seen him do. And then there was one thing that Cole, whoever was calling the match, Cole or JR, is like, truth is one fry short of a Happy Meal. And then all these mini ladders came into play, and I'm like, so this is where they came up with the idea of WLC. An atomic drop with a ladder on the balls. Ow. I repeat, ow. I mean, he'll be singing falsetto in the shower, that's for sure. There was a really nice dual dive with Ray and Evan Bourne. And I think they had a thing here called, the Bourne Insanity, and I'm like, so that's the lost movie we haven't seen yet. That shooting star press to the outside from the ladder. Was it from the ladder? It was, yeah. It just reminded me of all these Paul London spots when he used to do the shooting star as a plancha move. There was a Miz and Bourne bump I wrote here that said, geez. Here's Alberto Del Rio. I think someone fell off. No, the Miz fell off and just blew out his knee.
Yep.
That looked painful. That was a shoot. There's no way in hell that wasn't a shoot. And it's my destiny. Wait, why did that sound like Dusty Rhodes? I'm sorry, Dusty.
Oh, Dusty.
And we have the Great American Bash NXT next week. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. A really wicked duel Hurricane Rana. Kofi is climbing up the ladder, and then Swagger comes in, just locks in the Patriot lock on him, pre-Patriot lock, ankle lock, whatever. And there was a really wicked spot with a 619 when I think it was maybe the Miz was in the middle of the ladder. It looked like a really wicked spot. Everyone's on top. ADR, he just ate that ladder for dinner. I'm surprised he didn't break out a fork and just start going through the rest of it. Kofi is on top of laying on top of all the ladders, kind of prone, in a really interesting spot that could have been something wicked like that. You remember that Jeff Hardy tightrope ladder spot from TLC?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It reminded me of that in a way because allegedly that tightrope thing was going to be a finish until they decided somewhere in there that it wasn't. Miz is back. And he eats a code red off the ladder as a reward for limping back to I don't know why they gave that spot to a heel, but that was a really fun spot. Ray is grabbing the briefcase, and it's, oh man, we're getting flashbacks 3 years early for the Royal Rumble 2014. Poor Ray. That unmasked spot was intentional for Buddy there to win. It looked like a botch ending, but it didn't look as botch ending as Otis. But it was still, this was still a really fun match. I was a big fan of Alberto at this point in time. He was one of my favorite heels. But of course, I know with the benefit of foresight, he's a terrible human being. So I don't want to spend a lot of time glorifying him. However, I can separate. I can talk about talent because he looked good in this match. But yeah, aside from him being just a total dick balloon, he looked great. Everyone looked great in this match. Highly entertaining, especially that friggin' Miz getting like the babyface returns, like the Brock Lesnar against Mustafa Ali spot.
Jeez, I know exactly what you're talking about. Damn it! Hey. Speaking of dick balloons, one of them is going to get kicked into dick balloons as we're talking about the World Heavyweight title match between Randy Orton and Christian. Definitely do want to cover a little backstory on this. In case you haven't noticed, there's some things that we will definitely have some backstories on, but that's because a lot of these matches are worth watching. That's why I usually do it. So for this matchup, literally it's a situation where, unfortunately, earlier in the year, Edge had to retire due to his neck injury basically being nagged. Obviously, that was changed about 9 years later, but still same time, I'm not complaining. Christian would go on to win the World Heavyweight title in a ladder match, and then he would lose it about 2 nights later. Some people are saying 6 nights later, but let's face it, we all know SmackDown was recorded on Tuesday, because reasons. So Christian has just been on this deal where he wants the world title back. He wants the world title back. He had a match at Over the Limit, unfortunately lost. One more match. He got a match at Capital Punishment, and he unfortunately lost. But unfortunately for him, shonky officiating. His leg was underneath the ropes. They should have called for a rope break. So fast forward again to here where he's asking for one more match. He's full-blown heel at this point because he believes that Randy Orton stole the title from him. He knew the fans were just the ones that coaxed him into putting the title on the line in the first place. So in this matchup, Christian adds a stipulation that if Randy Orton gets disqualified or if there's any shonky officiating during the match, that he would win the World Heavyweight title. That's about it in a nutshell. And Randy Orton's just basically saying, dude, I've given you like title match after title match. You've lost both of them. There's no way you're going to beat me again. We'll see. Because Christian actually, I think during this point, he actually did get a pinfall victory over Randy Orton in a 6-man elimination tag, I think it was, before Money in the Bank happened. So at that point, it was like, okay, he's got a little bit of a reason to be a contender. But we've seen this match already, so how could they possibly make this any better? Mr. Fretz, take it away. How could they have possibly made this any better? Or worse? Who knows?
Okay, so we said the stipulation, right?
Yes.
So if Randy, So how does Christian deal with this? Well, by spitting in Randy's face, Randy kicking him in the dick, right in front of the referee, and world champion, because he got kicked in the dick. Christian's the world heavyweight champion. This is one of my favorite things from the whole show. If it wasn't for CM Punk, this would have been my favorite thing in the entire show. I love heel Christian. This goes back to him, being at last you're on your own. It goes back to that. That is the greatest entrance theme in the history of wrestling, by the way.
It is good.
Although the Waterproof Blonde, the girl version of Just Close Your Eyes, is just as good. This version, not as good. This was just your back and forth match, and then Christian is getting even more desperate, until just doing a Roberto Alomar right in his face. Google that reference, kids. I'm old. Let's see. I think the fourth wall guys might get that joke, or maybe Will. You're a baseball nerd. Yeah, and Christian is just continually egging him on. Then just a big old spit. Yeah, a big old spit there, King. And then I think he got RKO'd on the desk after this. Like Randy went
mental.
He went a little bit. He went a little bit. Voices in his head. He went a little bit heel 2009 here. And I love that this was the catalyst for their feud. They'd go on to have a match at SummerSlam, which wasn't that bad, actually.
No, definitely not. Only thing I think I got to add on to this is the backbreaker, neckbreaker combo that Randy Orton does. It's great.
That's nice.
It is a really nice spot. It's just one of those things where it's like, ooh, that's good. That's a good spot. Yeah, basically you hit everything on the head. Randy Orton getting disqualified by kicking Christian in the plums. I'm just going to say this, that Christian's the only one that I could see literally making that just work. Just like, I got kicked in the balls, I should be world champion. Okay. Just, like, if anybody else does that here in 2020, people would just be like, burning everything. Shout out to Kayla and Rachel, who, to our knowledge, have not burned things, but that could all change depending on how wrestling continues, especially if the ratings.
This is the whole match.
Man getting hit by football.
WWE presents Man Getting Hit by Football.
Oh my god. Yep, nope, that's fair. That is very fair. Hey, there's a Be a Star promo put on this deal. Kind of ironic that they would lose that sponsorship, because you don't really see that too much anymore. But yeah, this was during their PG area, so Be a Star is a great organization to get behind, but at the same time, not really pro WWE in my opinion. Just because storylines do have to involve, them overcoming the odds and overcoming the adversity and overcoming the critics and blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. Be a Star, I don't think really fits the WWE moniker. So I think I'm kind of glad that they're not as involved with Be a Star as they probably are now. But that's just me.
Yeah, it's a little. Great premise, awkward delivery, especially with social media being what it is and being how some people react on social media. For them, 9 times out of 10, wrestlers will respond positively when on social media, but will call you out for being a total dick cheese. So, or just block you and then be like, "Hey, look, I'm blocked by this person." Like, you treat that as a trophy. You don't.
Unless you're blocked by Kevin Owens, then you might have achieved something in Xbox Live. That's just for me.
I am blocked by JBL, and I'm proud of it. I just hypocrited myself, but JBL is a waste of space. So
yeah, fair enough. All right, Mr. Fretz. Time for the main event. And it's for the WWE Championship. John Cena defending against CM Punk. One of the best hype packages ever, to be honest. Because CM Punk, it basically goes into him talking about how his contract is inspiring, how he's going to leave with the WWE Championship. It shows highlights of the pipe bomb, which is just absolutely... magnifique. CM Punk that gets suspended for his words, and Vince is just basically saying, "Well, I suspend him because I don't think you can beat him, and I don't want him walking to another company with my championship. Damn it!" It's like, wow, this is the one time you could actually boost your ego more, and you don't want to boost it. Spot on you for having a moral compass, Vince, but also screw you during this time. But John Cena, I love his promo where he basically just said, we need to have this matchup because if you don't, then you're literally tarnishing this championship that's been won by so many of the greats. Because, as champion, I am here to overcome every single challenge put in my way. And if you're taking this away from CM Punk, the fact that he earned it, then you're basically turning this and making this into a nothing. So Vince is just like, all right, fine, you have your match. But if you lose, you're fired. So we get that. We get a last-ditch effort by Vince McMahon, basically trying to sign CM Punk to a new contract. And still one of my favorite segments ever, just CM Punk just talking about how, well, I have a new contract, my good sir, that I think you should look over, because I want not only t-shirts, posters, magazines, I want cups, spoons, forks, knives, all the deluxe stuff. I want my face on these turnbuckles, I want my face on the stage, and this is where we get it, ladies and gentlemen, where he says, one thing I want you to bring back are the WWE ice cream bars. Oh.
Never got them in Canada. We didn't get the return of them in Canada. I remember them when I was a kid, vaguely, because what they were out in like 88. Yeah, I was 4. Good humor. I mean, what's that? Chapman's. I'm about an hour and a half from the Chapman's Ice Cream Factory in Meaford. Come on, Chapman's. You got a corner here. You got me and Zach at the Value Mart who are wrestling fans, and we buy them. So, just saying.
Definitely. So, it seems like Vince is going to sign it, but then Cena comes out and he basically says, you see a Punk, you beat to your own drum, but you're basically, turning into one of those guys that, is just basically a sellout for all these kind of cheap trinkets and blah, blah, blah. And then CM Punk, of course, basically turns out and sees like, oh, you're telling me that I'm the sellout? Well, you're the one who basically is the one that's doing everything that Vince McMahon or anybody in WWE wants them to say. You're a dynasty. And he talks about how he could be like, he talks about, I think it's the, oh gosh, what was it? He said like you think that you're the Red Sox, but the problem is that you're a dynasty. You have become the New York Yankees. To which Cena punches him, and CM Punk grabs the contract and says, okay, you want to disrespect me? Fine. I'll show you the ultimate disrespect in Chicago on Sunday when I walk out as the WWE Champion. Say goodbye to the championship, say goodbye to John Cena, and say goodbye to CM Punk. The promo's over. We get at least about a minute's worth of people chanting, CM Punk! CM Punk! CM Punk! And then the music of This Fire Burns plays, and holy shit. Do we get one of the biggest reactions of WWE history. CM Punk comes out, he's just getting this huge, emotional, just absolutely great pop from the crowd. People are loving him. It's just a great hometown deal. Not since Cena versus Van Dam have I felt like just a crowd just be so tuned on one person. Then out comes John Cena. Normally he has the championship belt. He does the salute deal. This time around, belt is around his waist. And he just walks to the ring. Not really much in the way of saluting. Not much in the way of doing stuff for the fans. Fans are just shitting on him with boos and just Cena sucks and you can't wrestle and blah, blah, blah. All that kind of stuff. So just before we get to the matchup, which I'm going to turn over to my wonderful co-host, Mr. Fretz, I'm just going to say this, that one Easter egg in the crowd was future AEW star Colt Cabana! Oh.
Hi, Colt Cabana!
That was just a great deal. Just seeing Colton there. He's just basically there to support CM Punk. He doesn't get involved or anything. Although if he would have gotten involved in this matchup, I think that he would have just bumped that star limit up from 5 stars to 6 stars, where he just knocks out a certain someone, which we'll get to a little later on. But yeah, Colt Cabana's in the crowd. I think there was like another friend of his, of CM Punk's, in the crowd, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe some of his family was in there. I'm not 100% sure. But when we get to talking about Extreme Rules 2012, we'll definitely have to talk about that Chicago experience. Oh, geez, that's a good one. But yeah, Fretz, take it away.
To start off with this, I have to give a shout out to Christian Miracle, who was doing the WWE sins, and he would always do "Oh my kill switch" and take off a sin. Cinema sins for wrestling. This guy's he's on a hiatus right now, but this guy is awesome. So the arena is loud as heck. This is like I can equate it to any hometown wrestler thing. Like Chicago's always loud and passionate. Like I can put it up there for when like a hometown guy comes back in Toronto or Boston or anywhere. It's huge. There's a suplex to the outside. There's a whole whack of near falls. Cena is booed into oblivion, and I'm reminded of I haven't seen such a massive anti-Cena sentiment since Extreme Rules 2006, which I'm in the middle of watching Brian Zane's review of. RVD versus Cena for the title. There's a 5-knuckle shuffle. Nope.
Can we pause right there, because that's one of my favorite spots of this entire matchup is just him sinking in the fact the crowd is just hating him, and he's going for the 5-knuckle shuffle. You can't see. Here comes CM Punk's like boink right in the face. Oh, that was beautiful.
I love that spot. There's an AA. And then it's reversed into, I don't know what I wrote here because my writing is atrocious.
Okay, so I actually know the spot. So he goes for the AA, CM Punk counters. Goes for the GTS, it gets countered. Cena locks in the STF, and then somehow CM Punk is able to converse that into the Anaconda Vice. It is one of the best chain wrestling spots that you'll ever see. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was top shelf. There was a really nice gut wrench suplex by John Cena, air pillman by CM Punk, slingshot clothesline.
I'm flying.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. STFU by Cena. CM Punk reaches the ropes. Then there's that crossbody roll through, GTS counter, STF. What a sequence. Anaconda Vice, AA, kick out. He's going to need the kitchen sink to finish him off. Vince comes out, and he's immediately going for the Montreal finish. It's like, ring the bell. And then, and Cena's like, no, not like this. And then, boom, in the ring, GTS, 1, 2, 3. Your new WWE champion is CM Punk. Blows Vince a kiss and runs right up the ramp of the Allstate Arena to his Uber waiting outside. And he literally went right to his house, and this is where that infamous title on the fridge tweet came from. That was right around the time I joined Twitter. It's like CM Punk and Zack Ryder were like the two first people I followed on Twitter back in the day, and Steve Dangle, noted Leafs podcaster. Congratulations on your new son, by the way, Steve.
Hey.
Yeah, Leo. It was awesome. Best reveal ever. I'll tell you about it off air. But it was, this had so many infamous moments, and we both own the CM Punk DVD, and this whole thing was like the forefront of it. I actually bought his DVD like the week after he quit. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to find this, so I'm going to buy it now because everyone was talking about how good it was. This was a great main event match, a perfect atmosphere for it because you had Chicago. Like Chicago and Boston also have a historic sports rivalry, and I'm not just talking about, it's like the Bulls and the Celtics, Larry Bird versus Michael Jordan, and like Bobby Hull versus Bobby Orr, and even a recent Stanley Cup. The best ending to a Stanley Cup game I've ever seen, where Boston was about to force the Game 7 against the Blackhawks. A minute left in the third, boom, boom, boom. Blackhawks score 3 consecutive goals and win the cup right out from under their nose. In Boston, I think it was in Boston Gardens? TD Gardens, I think. Best thing I ever seen. long story short, Boston and Chicago have a storied rivalry that's inside and outside of wrestling. And I just love there's so many layers to that. And atmosphere is awesome. Cena and Punk both played their roles great. I loved that Vince McMahon was going for the screw job ending. Like, you could see it a mile away based on all the character development leading up to this, and this was one of the best, like, kind of work shooty but not really storylines I've seen, because, well, I mean, in actuality, like, if you watch the UD, like, yeah, Punk signed long before this night. So good. One of my favorite, probably one of my favorite matches in modern history.
No, I definitely agree with that. The only other matchup that probably could top this would probably be their encounter on Raw to see who would fight off against The Rock at WrestleMania a couple years later. Because they would have, like, on and off deals here and there. They would have maybe, like, a couple matches here and there, but none of them really had that kind of spark or that kind of, click as much as that matchup had. Because it was kind of a situation where CM Punk, if you know his history, he wanted the WrestleMania main event. This was kind of like his moment to get that spot. And he was going in like 0-2 against The Rock. So he was hoping, third time's the charm. I'm going to go in. I'm going to be the champion. I'm going to, main event WrestleMania. Everything's going to be great. But then Cena's like, no, I need the redemption story. So that's what happened there. I will say for the deal where they made it seem like it was after Cena's worst year ever, it's like, he had actually a pretty good year. When you look back at it. He may have lost to The Rock, but he beat Brock Lesnar. Should not have happened. Lost to Johnny Ace, which honestly should not have happened. Beat the Big Show, which should not have happened, honestly. Won Money in the Bank, definitely should not have happened. If anything, freaking Miz should have been the champ. Should have been Money in the Bank again. He lost a triple threat. He drawed with CM Punk. He lost another one at, what was it? At Survivor Series because certain Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta
Shield
debuted. Then he lost to Dolph Ziggler at TLC. He won the Rumble match. He lost a match at Elimination Chamber to the Shield, and then he won against The Rock. So, to be honest, he had more of a better year. But maybe that's something I need to rebook. Maybe that's something we'll both have to rebook. Who knows? But yeah, this was just one of those matches that was just can look, you can touch, you can just feel the electricity. It's almost been 10 years since this matchup took place.
Oh,
and it's still magical. It's still wonderful. It still tells a great story. It's just one of those matches that a lot of people can look back on with just huge fond memories. And just love the story that's being told here. They love the wrestlers that are in this. Despite whether you're a big fan of Cena or not, he definitely brought his A game during this match. And one of the things thing that I noted on here was that in some matches you definitely notice where there's like botchy moments and shit like that. In this match it worked because it showed how tired and restless these guys are. They're competing for the biggest prize in sports in their business, that being the WWE Championship. So if there's spots where they're not able to hit something, completely, it's because they're spent. It made sense, and they're human. What? Wrestlers are human? What a shock. But yeah, no, I love this matchup. I know, major shock. This was 2 Thanos thumbs up worthy. This was just absolutely amazing. I should probably I think I gave like 1 thumb up to the Raw Money in the Bank match, 2 thumbs up for the World Title match, and 2 Thanos thumbs up for this one. Overall, really good show. In honesty, even with like the, quote unquote bad matches, the Divas match and the match between Henry and Big Show, which honestly could have been the bathroom break match, it was still really good because the storytelling was there, and they at least progressed stuff after the show was over. I mean, Kelly would go on to face against Beth Phoenix. Mark Henry would do the whole Hall of Pain deal. Christian and Orton would finish the rivalry at SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan would go on to be the world champion before the year's over. That one turd from Venom. Yes, I'm calling. I'm doing a Venom comeback on this one, where he just calls him a turd in the wind. Just, oh my gosh, just yes, he's that guy. He's that guy. He's the turd in the wind. Yes, he would go on to be WWE champion because somebody decided to send a message to a certain somebody else who powerbombed him in the ring, and then just But no, this was good. This was a great show.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. I remember watching this live, just on our little chat room with just sitting chilling in my old apartment in Kitchener, and it was based on just a pretty cool time in my life. I was about to finish my last year of college, and I was a year away from moving where I am now too. So it's fun. It's funny to look back on what you were doing personally during these shows too. So it just makes me think of all of that and just how far the roster has come. And looking at all the names, especially in the ladder match, I'm like, where have you been? Where have you been? Fired, quit, Lucha Underground, fired, what's that show? Glow, and all this. A lot of these people here, there's only two technically, remaining people in WWE who are part of the original Nexus, and that's Daniel Bryan and David Otunga. And it just pains me to think, because we're a year off from that and the core. Thank goodness the core didn't last. And I'm listening to some of these entrance themes by these guys. I'm like, I don't remember any of these particular sidebar themes. This is before we had a 4-man band.
Oh, that's right.
A 3-man band. And at least 3 times by the same members of the core, I think I heard the "Oh way oh way, will you stand next to me?" The power.
Oh yeah, that's right. The McGillicuddy and Otunga's theme song. That's right.
Jeez.
But no, Barrett had the "I had enough. I'll make them say you'll never take another one." Yeah,
I thought it was
Wade Barrett.
"Lord save the Queen."
Oh no, that'd be later.
Hey, shout out to Martin.
Yeah, that'd be later on when he'd become King Barrett. Which, in all honesty, they could have just done so much with him as King Barrett, but no. They just basically said, "Oh, we're just throwing this King of the Ring deal at the last minute. We don't know who's going to win." Then 10 minutes before the matchup happens, "Oh, Barrett, you're going to win." It's like, okay. What am I going to do after this? I don't know. You're probably going to have
Cosmic things.
Oh, God. No, remember he also had a feud with R-Truth where Truth was the plunger king.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay, as stupid as it sounds, it is... R-Truth pulled that off amazingly. Just this aluminum crown, probably from Burger King, and a toilet plunger. Because R-Truth, god dang it. Oh my gosh. So we're going to take a quick break, you guys, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about The Last Ride.
Dead man walking.
You done it? No!
What's up, folks? This is Mr. Fretz from the Game Changer Podcast, here to tell you about my Patreon show, The 20 Bell Salute, where I go back 20 years ago each month in wrestling and pop culture. What movies were out, what video games we were playing, what music we were downloading on Napster, and what wrestling pay-per-views took place that month in WWE, and what other promotions happen to still exist at this time. So join me in my Y2K compliant DeLorean as I go 20 years into the past on the Wrestle Addict Radio Patreon. Join us for only $5 a month.
What's going on, everyone? This is the Kate Murphy of Kings of the Rings podcast, and you're listening to the Game Changer podcast only on Wrestle Addict Radio.
What's going on, guys? This is Zach, your host of the Young Lions Perspective podcast, and you are listening to the Game Changer podcast on Wrestle Addict Radio.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Game Changer Podcast. I am NateFNGreat, joined here by the one and only Mr. Fretz. And, geez Louise, I almost kind of burped and also threw up a bit, but I'm okay.
Deja spew, man.
Damn it. So I definitely want to hammer this really hard because we're down to the final week of Pride Month. And all throughout this month, we have been definitely showcasing our support for the Trevor Project, which works with members of the LGBTQ community. And we just want to say to the Trevor Project, thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of making that difference. And guys, you still have time to go to teesprings.com, Wrestle Radio, where you can check out the Pride merchandise that we have lined up, from the Game Changer podcast to the Fretzelmania podcast to Kings of the Ring, as well as Young Lion Perspective and Kate Murphy, along so many other great products. You guys definitely check that out, because all proceeds for those Pride products will go to the Trevor Project. Help us make a difference. Help us create a better community. So we definitely do want to support that. We also want to shout out our friends at the Young Lions Perspective, at Kings of the Rings, as well as the Delight Show. You guys are absolutely amazing. We love you. Stay safe. Stay strong. And hey, just remember, you got an American and a Canadian who are always going to be there to back you up. We love you guys. And we definitely want to show nothing but support for you guys. So, we also do want to give a shout out to some other people here. The ladies of those Wrestling Gals podcast, definitely check out their stuff. They're always absolutely amazing, always fun. The Canadian brethren that you have from the Movie Men podcast, always have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, Brady.
Oh,
Brady
my gosh.
Brady and Pete.
Brady
yes.
and Pete. I've been talking to Pete a lot more lately, and it's amazing, because we actually talk about, like, well, what is open up by you guys? No, not really too much. Well, the drive-thrus are open up here. It's like, yeah, we got drive-thrus open down here too. Which, oh my gosh, those drive-in theaters, that is still on my bucket list. Damn it, I need to do that.
Oh, speaking of which, on Canada, so Sable Beach, we had like a soft open of our beach for the past few weeks, and our mayor just closed it again. It technically, although Canada Day isn't until next Wednesday, Happy Canada Day, this is the long weekend, like starting now, tomorrow-ish. Normally, I'd be just getting off work. It's 11:52 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, whatever June today is. I'd just be getting off work usually, because we'd be open late, but no, right now we're not. And this is normally our busiest weekend of the year, and I'm not going to get political here. Like, I know our mayor is kind of has urged, residents from cities to stay out, maybe stay home, because, well, our beach was open for a few weeks, and it looked like shit. Garbage everywhere. Stuff everywhere. So, and we had it was designed for walk-through only. What does that mean, Fretz? It means you can walk on the beach, be in the water, but you can't stand around and loiter and, have towels and umbrellas out. And what happened? We had that. I'm not going to go play the blame game, because, quite frankly, a lot of there's a lot of negativity on both ends of the spectrum here, so I'm going to tiptoe away from that. So that's open. We have a drive-through concert with a good friend of mine who is a musician from this area, Bruce Worthington. I'm not a country guy, but I like his stuff. He's a great country artist. He's played on the radio a lot up here. I recommend his... he has a song called Down by the Bay. He has a couple of albums out. I highly recommend them. Bruce Worthington. They're on iTunes. Tell him Fretz sent you, and send him some love. He's doing that on Canada Day, just in front of. We have a big sign that says "Welcome to Sable Beach" in front of the water, in front of Lake Huron. So he's going to stand there and play. But what's going to happen? Well, people are going to park in front of it or on the side of the road. and it's going to be like a social distancing. You can listen on the radio. Like, was it the 98.1, whatever our station is up? I think it's called The Beach or something. Yeah, irony. So that's a really neat idea. That's what's open up here in takeout places. My daily coffee place, which I've probably already spent a couple $100 on, which is being open. They know what I want when I walk in. Large black dark roast.
Nice.
Yeah, because Pete Brady lives not too far away from me, actually.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. Also, some people we want to definitely talk about the brothers over at the rant community. No, I'm sorry. It's not the rant anymore. 5 second rule anymore. I'm sorry. Anthony, Kyle, and the Brett. Oh, that's right. Terry. That's right.
He's
friend of the show.
Plug the Ruthless guys too. Listen
definitely.
for me on the Ruthless Aggression Era podcast.
Oh my
That's all I'm
God.
going to say.
I have to listen to it now because I need to hear that Fretz cameo. But also a couple shout outs, especially to one of our good friends, Mr. Dusty Dave, who's been a major supporter. Love you, brother. And honestly, it's really crazy because we just continue to have so much fun. And on social media, we're having fun too. We started doing that talk about Money in the Bank here and Ruthless Aggression guys. I think they're looking forward to hearing all this stuff. I mean, we're talking about the big show. Oh my gosh, they're the ones that got me introduced to that song again. So now it's stuck in my head. Just you guys suck. Levi, Kyle, you guys suck. Just getting that song stuck in my head again. Just damn it all. Other than that, to everybody who listens to the show, thank you guys so much for your support, for your love. But yeah, we got about 5-10 minutes to talk about The Undertaker, the Last Ride series. All in all, guys, this is a eye-opening series that you definitely need to watch because it basically goes from his time when he was building up the feud between him and Roman Reigns all the way till this past year's WrestleMania. It's just absolutely eye-opening just watching this stuff to see Undertaker go from kind of like the lowest of his lows to slowly getting back what he thought was just, what he wanted to be, because he definitely wanted to be one of those guys that everybody watches and just thinks, wow, he's still got it, he's still doing great. And I admire that, and I respect him for, trying. But he definitely saw, as time went on, that it's time to call it a career. And I think that was very evident in his match with Goldberg. That is an episode that, oh my gosh, that is hard. That is hard to watch, but it's also just hard to see it because to think that he was almost about maybe an inch away from possibly being paralyzed. That's just terrifying. But the final episode where he talks about his match with AJ Styles, how COVID affected everything, how it's kind of more of a cinematic deal, and for him, his body is so used to just go that when they did the whole deal where it's like, we're gonna do this thing, okay, now we're gonna stop for a bit and reset for this. He still got that adrenaline going. He still wants to go. But for him, he said, as much as it pained my body to basically adjust to this, it was probably the right thing to do. And in all honesty, I look back at that now, it's one of the better cinematic matches I've seen. Honestly, if not the best compared to the Stadium Stampede that AEW did, this was really good. This was just damn good. And to hear all the stuff that he had to go through, I believe it was his brother passed away from a heart attack, and I think even somebody on Michelle's family side passed away. It was just a really tough time for him during WrestleMania. So he has that match, and it's one of those situations where he said, I feel content with everything that I've done now, and it's going to take a lot for him to come back for one more match. I think he feels like he is at peace when it comes to his career now. For me, I would love for him to have one more match at Survivor Series at the place that he debuted and hit that 30-year marker. But if he is content with where he's at right now as a wrestler and as a human being, then I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him, just taking life in, enjoying time with his family, and getting that chance to, have that connection again. One of my favorite moments from that for that episode is where where Mark is talking to his kid. He was basically saying who are you worried that was going to get hurt, and his daughter just goes, AJ. I mean you. And Taker's just like, what? He just starts walking away. He's like, I'm glad I did what I did to him. just one of those things where he could be just so hilarious. Another all-time favorite moment from the series is that backstage deal that they were doing where Kane and Undertaker are basically saying, I think that they're building up the hype with them in DX, and and Kane just goes, we have 3 words for you, and Undertaker just says, go fuck yourself. and then Mark just casually is like, we're good, right? Just like that's the take, that's the winner. Honestly, if that would have been the take, it would have been one of those situations where like, okay, Taker's the greatest human being that's ever lived, and he's finally broken character. After so many years of people just trying to break him, he broke himself just by saying, go fuck yourself.
When you see a Taker-Rooney. I loved all the stories about people. One thing I was one surprised they didn't show was when Stone Cold, I think it was leading up to Invasion, and it was when like Steve was like repeating everything Vince McMahon said, and then he was like, we must win at all costs, and he just like chops Taker, and like he tried to get him to corpse, but he was like that close. But man, this was such an eye-opening special. Like all 5, it was. As I said about something else in this show, like I can't put it into words. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen the network make, and it's. I recommend watching. I might just watch it. Actually, no, I won't, because then that'd be equivalent to a Lord of the Rings marathon to watch it all from beginning to end. But
jeez,
that's just a death wish right there. But Taker.
I feel like it's one of those series that if you watch it once, you feel like you've watched it enough, and there might even be people might say that there's episodes where it's one too many, because it's that good.
Yeah, and there's a reason I've only watched the Lord of the Rings movies once. Because they're so damn long, but this was, like, it takes number 3, or 4. He's somewhere in there, like, my favorite 3 are always, Owen, Brett, Austin. And, Taker makes his way in between him and Austin somewhere in there. But, I know he didn't say, I'm retired. And a lot of people are assuming that. I have no desire to get into the ring. I mean, if that's a bookend to your career, if that match and that special that we saw, if that's the bookend of Taker's career, I'm okay. I mean, frankly, I think he could have hanged him up a few years ago, but, I mean, I got to give him credit. He's like, okay, I'm going to hang it up here. No, I don't like how that went. I'm going to hang it up here. No, I don't like how that went. And, he's a stubborn, like any other guy, he's stubborn. And he's like, nah. When he said, my terms, okay, I'm listening. But, oh, man.
So, definitely.
It was so good.
It definitely is worth watching. Bottom line. All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to conclude this very, I would definitely say, a roller coaster of emotions edition of the Game Changer podcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed Retro Month. Happy Pride Month to everybody who has celebrated the fact that they are indeed who they are. In all honesty, guys, do not be afraid to show that you are who you are. Be the human beings that you want to be. Be the good side. Be the best that you can be. That is how it is in life, especially here in Pride Month. definitely don't be afraid to let your true colors show. So, that being said, Mr. Fretz, we can check you out on the Twitter at the legendary JF, and definitely check out his Fave 5 on Wrestle Addict Radio, which is only 5 pesos. Wait, no, sorry. 5 Canadian dollars. Damn it. 5 yen. No,
Euros.
5 euros. There we go. 5 euros. For the low price of 5 euros, you can sign up for our Patreon. Honestly, I think that's only in SoCal Val's deal. But $5, guys. Seriously, it's really cool to see all the extra content that we have created, from Fretz's Fave 5 to Love and War to Watch the Throne King Ricky does. It's absolutely just amazing to see what these guys just come up with. It's just a lot of fun. It's great. I definitely have been trying to push a new bit of content for August. Hopefully I can even make that a monthly deal. But I will be returning with another bit of a top 10 of my own, and it's actually going to be top 10 best TNA heel turns. So that is going to be, it was a very tough list to go through because I went through so many videos, I've gone through so many archives, I've looked at them, I've got the list, I got a couple of honorable mentions, but top 10 TNA heel turns are going to be coming for next month on Patreon, so definitely do not want to miss out on that. You can check me out on Twitter at RealFNGame, and you can check everybody out on Twitter at Addict_Wrestle for Wrestle Addict Radio. Like I said, you can check out our episodes, the Kings of the Rings podcast, the Delight Show, as well as Young Lions Retrospective. All fantabulous shows created by fantabulous people. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support us, and if you feel like representing Wrestle Addict Radio, go to the merch site at teesprings.com. Check out some of our merch, whether it's coffees, onesies, shirts, blankets, posters, whatever you like, just absolutely go for it. It's actually kind of crazy because King Ricky actually told me that there was somebody who actually bought, I think it was a King Ricky blanket and a Game Changer pillow. So it was one of those things where it's like, that's an interesting combination, but at the same time, I'm not complaining. I guess they want to be surrounded by the arms of King Ricky, but they want Game Changer Podcast at the head. I don't know. I don't know how to make that less weird, but I think I made it just about weird enough. And this is the good weird. This is the funny kind of weird, not the weird like, you know what, you just have to listen to the first 20 minutes of our show and you'll know what I'm talking about. But with that being said, I've been NateFNGreat here with Mr. Fretz. Hopefully you've also enjoyed Retro Month. We will be trying to go back to our regularly scheduled lineup next month, which will start off in a big way because we are going to be reviewing one thing. And it's this, ladies and gentlemen. It's something where, whether you like it or you don't like it, it's the best thing going in wrestling today. The NWO.